Okay, so we are in 7.4, Ready, Set, Go, number 11. And the problem is, well, here's the directions. It was all the way up here. Oh no, those were the directions. My bad. So you're given this figure, looks like this, and it says find the measure of angle LMN and LKN. So they want you to find this angle and this angle, right? So I'm going to use this one. Oh, this is 7.4. I'm going to use not anything that we learned this year. And you can actually solve this problem without, you can actually solve this problem without anything that we learned this year. But you can see, does everybody see our snow cone theorem? Our snow cone theorem is when you have a line tangent to a circle, it's perpendicular to the radius. Does everybody see that? And you have it over here too, right? So number one, there's that theorem that a line or a line is tangent to a line that's tangent to a circle is perpendicular to the radius at the point of tangency. The point of tangency is where the line and the circle meet. The snow cone theorem that I was referring to, does everybody see that it's a snow cone? Like it's kind of like upside downish. Kind of make, I don't know. Now it looks like Jack in the Box's head. Does everybody see that? Yeah. Okay. So what you need to know about the snow cone theorem begins the same. When you have tangent, to a circle, those two tangent segments are congruent. So MN is congruent to LM, Miss Johnson? Yes. So I'm not going to use any of that to solve this problem. Okay. So what are you going to use, Miss Johnson? Watch, I'll show you. So I'm going to use the fact that this is a quadrilateral. And then in a quadrilateral, you may remember from, I don't know, 7th, 8th grade, or maybe you don't remember this, and this is something that I could teach you, is that the sum of the measures of the interior angles of a quadrilateral is what? Like, try to make sense of this. Like, on your own, figure this out. Do you know the sum of the measures of all the angles in a quadrilateral, meaning a four-sided figure? If you don't know this one, you can use any one. So I'll draw a famous one right here. You guys all recognize this shape? Right? And so you know that in this shape, there's 4 90-degree angles. So you know the sum of the measures of the angles of a quadrilateral. What would that be? If I added those all up, what would that be? Yeah, it's 360. How'd you get that, Mr. Johnson? Because 4 times 90 is 360. Wait, so Miss Johnson, but that's a square. This is not a square. This is like, in case you guys don't know this shape is called a kite. This is a kite, or it's not a square. Is that still true? The answer is yes. Just like the sum of the measures of all the angles in a triangle is always going to be 180, the sum of the measures of all the angles in a quadrilateral will always be 360. Really? Yeah. So then I'm going to use that fact to write myself an equation. What equation can I write now that I know that the sum of the measures of all the angles in a quadrilateral always equals to 360? What equation can I write? What do you guys got? What can you write? Okay, so one side we know, very good. One side has to equal to 360. Everybody is okay with that? One side has to equal to 360. What's the other side? What is the other side? Very good, actually. What's the other side equal to? Well, the other side is all your angles adding up to 360. So walk around there with me. It would be x, right? Plus 90 plus 4x plus 90. Do you guys all see this equation? Now that you're looking at it, you're like, oh, duh, right? Like, you're like, wait a second, how come I didn't see that before? So, the reason why you didn't see this before was because you're not in quadrilateral mode. So, as a young person, your job is to find all the different ways that you can do something, right? So, in this fashion, I just chose that I know that the sum of the measures of all the angles of a quadrilateral will equal to 360. So, is everybody comfortable with this equation? Yeah. And then now that you're comfortable with it, now I've transported you back to like 7th or 8th grade. And now you can solve this equation. So go ahead and solve this equation. And while you're solving, I'm going to talk about the other way that you could have solved this. So sorry, I'm going to pause so that you guys can solve it without you hearing me. Okay, so as you solve this, you said, oh, I know this. It's 5x plus 180 equals to 360. So therefore 5x equals to 180. Dividing, you would get x equals to 36. So x is 36, so I'm going to put in here 36 degrees. So there, I found NML. So now I have to find this guy. How do I find this angle over here? How do I find angle NKL? What would I do to find NKL? Yes, perfect. So go ahead and do that and tell me what you got as NKL. Very good, Nathan. Very good, Allison. Exactly. So someone said, hey, Miss Johnson, all I do is just plug in. So 4x and then 4 times 36, whatever that is. I believe it's 144. I didn't multiply in my head, by the way. Some of you are like, wow, Miss Johnson. Yes, be impressed with my math amazingness. But I actually did something else, and I'll show you what I did. There's another theorem you could have used, but I'm just going to tell you this one doesn't come to me as quickly as this way did. So the theorem that we could use is over here. I gotta find it. It's this theorem right here, where it basically says if you have that same snow cone picture, the central angle, right? This angle here, your central angle, and your the cone part of your snow cone. I don't know what to call him. Those two angles will always add up to 180. Always. And that's exactly what you see over here, right? Does everybody see they add up to 180? X plus 4x should be 180. Does everybody see that in there? Right? I see x plus 4x, Ms. Johnson, but I got all that other stuff. But if you moved that over, that's why we got this 180 right here. Does everybody see that? So the theorem that you could have used is these two angles here and here add up to 180, right? Those two angles add up to 180. So you, like, for those of you who are like, Miss Johnson, I didn't know how to do this problem. This is kind of like one of those problems that if you didn't remember that all the angles add up to 180, all the angles of a quadrilateral add up to 360, or if you didn't remember that theorem that I showed you, then that would have been difficult, right? Okay. So, which way did you like learning better? Great, do that way. Um, I will say this, okay, because I will say this, okay, because I like people to know. Miss Johnson, if I didn't get this, am I going to fail the next math class? No. Miss Johnson, if I forget this on the final, Am I going to fail the final? No. In the bigger realm of mathematics, this is small. Okay. Like, how small, Miss Johnson? Small. Like, pretty darn small. So for those of you who are like, I'm so mad that I didn't get it. Don't even be mad. Okay. Very good.